I love lesbians. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tamika. This is Library of Tomes, where I talk to you about all the bookish things going on in my life. And today I wanted to share some romances that I think you need to read before the end of the year. Now I'm gonna be honest, I completely copied this from Jess from Peace Love Books. I saw she did this video where she talked about the books that she thought you should read before the end of the year. They're books that she had read. I just looked at her video. I didn't watch it. I watched the first 20 seconds and I was like, no, I gotta do this video for myself, so I want to do it too. So here I am. I'm gonna go watch her video when I'm done here. But I want to tell you about some romances that I think you need to read before the end of the year. So these are all romances that I have read this year and I just want you all to read. Some of these are gonna be predictable. Some of these are my favorite books of the year. Some of these are just books that I won't shut up about, but here's a video for you specifically talking about some of the books that I think you need to get on and you need to try out before 2021 comes to an end. Let's start off with what I read at the beginning of the year, and that would be The Initiation by Nikki Sloan. I think you should read this entire series. I devoured the entire thing. I'm about to start the next 2 books in the series, the continuation series. But listen, the first 3 books in this series, chef's kiss, fantastic. This is essentially following our heroine, who is, she's kind of like, you know, the black sheep of the world, right? And she has a crush on this dude, but this dude is supposed to marry her sister. His name's Royce. And her sister does something to make it so that she cannot marry him, like their agreement gets called off. And our heroine has to go in her sister's place, and there is a whole situation, it's a whole secret society where they have to do very specific things in order to get into, you know, the world and be a part of this world and the society, and this it's just very secret society-esque, and it's ugh, and weird, and it is light dark romance. There's some manipulation in here and coercion, and our hero is a horrible man, and we have a love triangle between the dad and the son and our heroine, and I know who I was rooting for the whole time, but you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know who's gonna end up together. It is just a wild ride, and if you don't get happily ever after until the 3rd book. But let's be real here. The wow factor on this one is what the initiation is. I can't tell you what it is. I can't tell you what the initiation is because that will literally spoil the entire book. But it is worth reading. It is worth reading because it is something. It's something. It is so entertaining, and I was ready. I was on the edge of my seat. I needed to know what was gonna happen. I needed to know what was gonna happen to these characters and who she was gonna end up with, and all of it. It was fantastic. I loved it. I just need everyone to read this. So if you've not read The Initiation yet, do yourself a favor and go do that. So then I also want to talk about Hotshot Doc, which is a medical romance. We have our 2 precious beans of characters. We have a Grumpy and a Sunshine, obviously. Well, they're not necessarily a Grumpy and a Sunshine. We have our heroine, who is a surgical assistant, and we have a surgeon, who is our hero. And she's not necessarily Sunshine, but in comparison, she's definitely a Sunshine. She's more of a, I don't want anything to do with you. I'm perfectly content with my life the way I am. Leave me alone. And our hero is he hates everyone. So she doesn't want to work with him, and she's forced to work with him or essentially lose her job. So it is a employee boss situation, a workplace romance, and a dislike to love situation. And this one just really worked. I thought they worked well together. I enjoyed their chemistry. I enjoyed the way they talked to one another. I enjoyed just the way that they would tease one another and the agreements and the way that everything worked between them. I just thought they were really perfect together and I loved them. So I want everyone to read this. This is a steamy rom-com, and there is it is funny and there's a good amount of steam. Like, I was here for it. It was good. And I'm definitely gonna be reading more from R.S. Gray. I have heard that her books are basically all the same, but I'm interested in reading more of them. I freaking loved Hotshot Doc. Did you all think that I was gonna do a list and not talk about Brianna? Hi, hello. My name is Tamika. I'm obsessed with Brianna Hill. I want you all to read Rush by Brianna Hill. Obviously, that is her most recent release. It is my favorite of her books so far. Actually, it's not her most recent release. Her most recent release is Bought by Daddy, but that was in an anthology series. This is her most recent standalone. And I'm obsessed with it. I love it. Rush is a soft bean. So we have a rock star romance. We have Rush, who is the rock star, and then Dree, who is a choreographer. She has something really bad happen to her in the beginning of this book, like in the past, like before the book starts. And essentially Rush is like very determined to have her be his choreographer, but she doesn't want to be involved in that world anymore. It's a daddy dom little girl. They have a very interesting relationship, I'll say. It is very sweet and precious. Like, he is a soft dom. That's the way I describe him. Like, I don't care what anyone says. He is a soft dom. He cares about what she wants. He is very tentative to her needs. He is very, very much like a very caring, soft, good, wants the best for his submissive kind of dominant. He is the definition of like a daddy dom. Like, he is the definition of like a caretaker kind of dom. Like, he is very much a soft bean, and he will go through the ends of the earth for Dree. And Dree is a masochist, and she loves degradation, and she loves she's into like a tiny bit of age play. Like, she wears like cute undies and she like sucks her thumb, but that's like the most of the age play for them. But it is mostly like she's a masochist, so she loves pain and she loves to be degraded. And the thing I love most about Dree and Rush is that he never hesitates to give her exactly what she wants. He never questions her humanity or like her like who she is as a human because she likes these things. He trusts her judgment enough to say, okay, I know you actually want this, so here I'm giving it to you. But he does check in to like he keeps an eye on like how she's doing. So he never does anything so that it makes her uncomfortable or makes her question or second guess what she's asking for. He is very supportive in what she wants, and he is very he's very tentative to her needs. There is one scene in here I did not like that he uses. He has her in a scene in BDSM, and he tries to make her say something that she is uncomfortable with. She ends up using her safe word. He was in the wrong there. He does admit it, and you know, I think that was handled as well as it could be for the type of situation it was. But I do think you should read Rush. It is such a good emotional story, and I freaking loved it. I can't wait to read it again. Would this be another video if I didn't talk about First Comes Blood by Lilith Vincent? Yes, Brianna's pen name. I just want everyone to read the series. I'm not going to talk a lot about it. It's a reverse harem mafia series, and there's a lot. There's knife play, there's gunplay. I made a whole readathon essentially so people would read this book back here. It's fantastic. The hero holds a gun to her head while they are fucking, and I just check it out. Okay, just read it and come back to me, because the series will end in December, and then we'll all have a big little thing and we'll all talk about it. Okay, I read it and come back to me, please and thank you. Next up, I have Witching Moons, which is a sapphic witch novel. This one is following a girl who's not a good witch. She is essentially, she's just like not very talented, right? And her family has like all these talented witches in it, and she's just not that talented. They leave her to do a ritual for like their harvest, or their, I think it's Yule. It's the Christmas one. And she accidentally summons the moon. So she accidentally summons a celestial being. It's her romance with a celestial being. It's adorable. It's sapphic. I love gay romance. I love lesbians. I love lesbians. So are we shocked that this is here? I wouldn't be. Read this. It's short, it's fun, it is adorable. There is smut in here if you're interested in some gay smut. So yeah, go check it out, please and thank you. And then the last book that I want to talk about is Vibe by Liza James, which again is sapphic. Dark sapphic, might I add. Cults, taboo, Depcon, spicy. Very dark and very spicy. There is cheating in here. our heroine Aurora cheats on her boyfriend. She meets our heroine Ruby in a club, and they end up having a instant connection, and they can't stay away from one another. And yeah, there's a lot. There's cults in here. Our heroine is running from a cult, and there's a lot of trauma with that. There's a lot of internalized homophobia, a lot of religious trauma. So there's a lot going into this one, but I loved it. I loved it a lot. It's dark in all the right ways. It pushes all the right buttons, and it's gay. There's a lot of pushback from our heroines. They don't want to do anything with one another. Like, they do and they don't. They have this connection, this energy pulling each other towards the other one, but we don't want to do anything because one of them can't give more and the other one wants something that the other, you know, they can't give each other what they need, essentially, but like they can't stay away from each other. And it just makes for a very toxic but worthwhile relationship in a way. Like, they start out pretty toxic, but like they eventually figure out how to make it work and like how to, you know, be together in a healthy way. So they're precious. I love them. Please read Vibe if you haven't read it, because oh my god, I love Liza James. She's one of my new favorite authors, and I cannot wait to read all of her books. I've already started on another one. So those are all of my books that I think you should read before the end of the year. So if you have read any of these, let me know down in the comments. If you haven't, please pick them up and tell me which one you're going to check out first. If you are still here, leave me one of those swirly emojis. You know what I'm talking about? The ones that like a swirl. And if you don't want to leave me that one, you can leave me a skull emoji down in the comments, because I'm still ready for spooky season, even though it's Christmas time. So I will chat with y'all in my next video. Bye everyone. Don't you wanna have fun? Fool around someone?